Hello, everybody. This is the whole group lesson for page 62 and 63 in our real book. Um, we're starting to kind of narrow down on, we're finishing up on this workshop as far as children's rights and these activists who have stood up for children's rights. Um, so anyway, we're kind of moving on, getting going. We're going to be doing some writing, and the purpose of today's lesson, guys, is to we're going to analyze an informative essay. Okay, so this is one that's written very well. This is a great example for you guys to kind of study and check out. So one thing that we want to think about. Uh, Let me open up the page so we can see it a little bit better. I really like this tide. So so when you think of the word tide, okay, so the first thing, the T stands for thesis statement. The I stands for idea. The D stands for details, and the E is our ending. Okay, so this is page 62 of your real book. Okay, so an informative essay examines a topic, presenting central ideas and details. Read the student model to analyze the elements of an informative essay. All right, so the writing prompt, and I'm assuming that this will be the exact writing prompt that you guys have, is to choose an activist featured in the workshop. So those activists are those people that we've read about. Write an essay that describes the activist's life and explains the work he or she does. Okay, so Standing Up for Children's Rights by Paj Ham. Kez Valdez is a human rights hero. Kez spent his early life as a homeless street child in the Philippines. By age 10, however, he was no longer homeless or helpless. He became a courageous activist for children's rights. Okay, so really basic, this first line. Kez Valdez is a human rights hero. Okay, that's the thesis, right? And then it kind of starts to give some details. He was homeless. By 10, he was no longer homeless or helpless, and he eventually became a courageous activist for children's rights. Kez's early life was full of hardships. For example, he was born into a cruel and abusive family. By age 4, Kez had to run away. His new home was a garbage dump in Cavite City. There he scavenged for food from the garbage in the dump. Furthermore, Kez remembers that I used to drink from a pothole in the street and even from sewage canals. At age 7, he was rescued by a social worker who adopted him. His life completely changed. So if you guys can remember back, those of you who we did the 5-paragraph essays with last year, okay, his first example is right here where it says he spent his early life as a homeless street child in the Philippines. They gave us more details about him being homeless, right? Okay. All right, so now we're moving on. By age 10, however, he was no longer homeless or helpless. They're going to teach us about that right here. Okay. And let's read that. Now that he was part of a loving family, Kez became a champion for other homeless kids. He asked his adoptive family and others to help the street children. For instance, he asked for such things as toothbrushes and clothes. In addition, Kez began an organization called Championing Community Children. He helped more than 10,000 kids in the Philippines by teaching them about nutrition and how to stay healthy. The United Nations listed rights all children should have, including the right to good food, housing, and medical care. Kez has fought to give children that right. Okay, so some great details in those 2 paragraphs. Now the ending. In 2012, Kez was the International Children's Peace Prize. Kez won the International Children's Peace Prize. He was honored for helping homeless children. Kez gave his acceptance speech proudly. He stated, "Now I stand before you as an advocate of better health for street kids and as a herald of children's rights." Today, Kez Valdez's voice has been heard around the world. Okay? All right, so that is a great example of an informative essay on Kez Valdez. Okay? Um, Opening paragraph. detail paragraphs, and a closing. Okay. All right. So now we're moving over here. Mark and evaluate text elements. Mark the following elements of an informative essay. Use the frames to discuss them with your partner. Put a T next to the thesis statement. Why is this thesis statement effective? This thesis statement is effective because it blank. Okay, so now you're going to flip back. Okay, put a T next to the thesis statement. Okay, the thesis statement we decided was he is a human rights hero. Okay, really basic, but it says a lot, right? Okay, so put a T next to Quez Valdez as a human rights hero. Okay, my phone's ringing, so I'm going to pause you. Okay, I'm back with you. Put a T, so we put a T next to the thesis statement. Then we need to talk about why is this thesis statement effective? Okay, this thesis statement is effective because it identifies Quez Valdez and why he is important, right? Okay, or it introduces Quez Valdez. Okay, so thesis statements, they identify, they describe, or they introduce. Okay, now the idea. Each supporting paragraph includes a topic sentence that states the paragraph's central idea. These ideas provide more information about the thesis statement. Put an I next to the central idea of each body paragraph. How do these ideas give more information about the thesis? The important ideas give more information about how, why, or who. Okay, so now you're going to put an I next to each paragraph's topic or topic sentence. So Quez's early life was full of hardships. That should have an I. Now that he was part of a loving family, Quez became a champion for other homeless kids. That would have an I. In 2012, Quez won the International Children's Peace Prize. Those are all big details, but they lead us to reading more details, right? Okay. The important ideas give more information about who or how or why. Okay, I want you guys to fill that section in. Okay, now details. Put a D next to 4 important detail sentences. Why are these detail sentences important? The detail sentences are important because they provide us more information, I can tell you that much. They develop our idea as far as what Quez did. Okay, so you're going to put a D next to 4 detail sentences, okay, that give us information about him. Okay, they're not the topic sentences, but they give us evidence of what he did. Okay. Now the ending, an essay ends with a conclusion. The conclusion restates the thesis and central ideas of the essay. It ends with an interesting final thought. So put an E next to this essay's conclusion. And the conclusion, is the conclusion effective? So they're asking you that. Do you believe that the conclusion is effective? Okay, did they do a good job of restating everything there? Okay, so I want you to do this, the tide. Okay, I read through this for you. Okay, listen to that, work through it. Okay, now you're going to fill in the tide of that and fill in these blanks. All right? Okay, awesome. Get to work. Get those turned in. Have a great day, everybody.